Thank you for joining us on Spotlight on DACC. I'm Mike Irvin, your host, and welcome to the first program of the new year, 1997. And I've got with me this evening the Director of Counseling, Jeff Smith. Jeff, you and I are no strangers to this place, so we've been here before talking about registration and counseling and so forth here at DACC. But now here we are in January, and it's getting down almost to crunch time, isn't it, as far as registration is concerned?
Yes, a very busy time of the year, but I'm happy to say we usually manage to handle all the folks that stop in.
When does spring semester start now?
Monday, January 13.
Okay, so we have time still to get registered and get kids, and I keep using the term kids, but a lot of them aren't kids, are they?
Right, I think the latest study shows that the average age of a student at DACC is 29.
Wow. And what does that mean? That these students are coming back for what? Are they first-time students, many of them, or are they retraining, or what are they here for?
Actually, we see a combination of both. Some of them are new to college. Some of them have been to college before, but due to changes in job demands have had to retrain.
So at 29, is that a typical number for community colleges?
Anywhere between, say, 27 and 33 would be normal.
That's you seem like that we think of college students as being that 18, 19, 20-year-old student, but that's not the case here at DACC. We've got the more mature, experienced students, I guess. That's right. Now, you're the Director of Counseling. Your responsibilities are primarily what? Varied, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Varied.
My primary responsibility is to oversee the advisement process, make sure we're getting folks in the correct classes. And I think we do a pretty good job of that. We have two types of classes that we are involved with, one being vocational or career, and the other one being transfer if you're wanting to go on to a four-year school to get a bachelor's degree.
Now, those vocational classes are typically, how long does it take you to go through the program, the coursework, to get that certificate or degree or what you're looking for?
I'm glad you asked that question, Mike. I think the general public views an associate degree, whether it be a transfer degree or a career/vocational degree, as being a two-year program. But let's return to our adult student population. The load that one would have to take per semester to finish in 2 years is a pretty heavy one. And the older all of us get, our responsibilities sort of pile up. And some folks simply cannot take the number of courses per semester to finish in 2 years. I'd like to make sure everyone knows that we do not put a time restriction on the completion of the degree. Whether it takes 3.5 years, our goal is to make sure the student is taking an appropriate load for everything else that's going on in their life.
Just as an example, Jeff, tell us what would be a typical program for a person in a two-year course of study. What areas are they focusing on? Just give us a sampling, I guess, of some of the coursework and the curriculum that they would take.
Everyone, regardless of major, has to take what we call general education. And most of us are used to that from high school, so many units of English and math and so on. So no matter what you're majoring in, you're going to have at least 5 courses out of general education. Transfer students have considerable larger number of general education courses, fewer numbers of major-specific courses. They'll get almost exclusively major-specific courses after they transfer to the four-year institution, junior and senior year. The vocational or career degree is heavy on the major-specific coursework because once they're done with their degree, they'll go out and seek employment in that area.
So if I come in here, Jeff, and I'm in a technology program, if I'm going to be something out of the technical programs, whether it be a computer, something in their programming or something like that, do I still have to take speech and I still have to take something in humanities and so on?
Yes, and The idea of general education, I think, is to make sure that you are an educated, well-rounded person who can communicate both verbally and in writing.
I think that's something that people tend to forget, that no matter what line of work you're in, communication is vital,
right.
And you need to have some skills in that. So hence the general education requirements. But really we've come to talk a little bit more about registration and the process that we go through to get students registered and to be then considered students here at DACC. Now our spring semester starts not too short, or not too long a time from now, January the 13th. What do students need to do to get registered for classes?
Well, at this time, to be truthful, it's not impossible, but it is going to be a little more intense than if you had started the process in summertime, let's say. You will need to, first of all, call us at 443-8750 to enroll in a new student session. And I have the dates for those. In January, we have one on January 3rd, January 7th, and January 10th. During that, they would be given an orientation to college and DACC specifically. We would help them fill out the DACC application and also give them the placement test in math, reading, and English. We will provide lunch, and after lunch we will register them for the spring 1997 semester.
Okay, so in one fell swoop, in one day's time, they can come in and not only have the orientation, they can fill out all the necessary paperwork, they can see an advisor, and get their coursework then again lined out. Now, they have to have an idea, don't they, what they want to do, where they want to go?
That's always helpful. However, the first semester, it's not necessary. We can concentrate, again, on this general education that no matter what you would major in, would be useful, and we can get started with it without knowing what a major is for a while.
So for a student that's been out of the educational field for a long time, haven't had to study and so on, at least getting into some general education would get them back in the groove, so to speak. So
right, and they'd be making progress towards their academic goals,
that's
too.
Right, good. We've talked before in regards to registration and why do students want to come to DAC, or why DACC, and why do you encourage them to come to DACC? What are the advantages for a first-time student in going to college? What's the advantage to coming here?
Well, when folks like you and I were younger than we are now.
I remember those days.
Yes. High school diploma tended to be a ticket to employment. We are entering a time now where an associate degree is the ticket to employment. For instance, Alcoa is a new corporation coming to town. They will not hire anyone with less than an associate's degree. Nationally, this is the trend, and certainly Danville area is no exception.
So now we're not talking about 12 years of education anymore, are we? We're talking about 14 years as a minimum for industry needs, particularly in this area.
Correct.
And Alcoa being one of the larger industries, I would suspect, that's coming in, or at least potentially one of the largest industries coming in here. But why DACC, Jeff? Why, if you're going in a transfer program, particularly right out of high school, why here and not directly to Eastern or to Illinois State or something?
Well, again, I can personally give a plug for the community college system, and obviously DACC specifically. I have twin daughters. They're in high school right now, and the cost per credit hour is simply unbeatable. We're currently charging $38 a credit hour for in-district tuition, and I honestly think that community colleges do a better job of freshman and sophomore year. We have smaller classrooms. We have faculty who are here to teach. They're not here to do research and teach on the side. Our faculty are here because they enjoy teaching. They're very good at it, and the responses that we've received from the students confirm that.
Now, they come here as a transfer student, Jeff, and they take all these courses that we have laid out for them as counselors and as advisors, and now they're ready to take the next step. They're going on to the four-year institution. Do those credits all transfer? Is there any problem there?
As long as they have told us all along that they are a transfer student. The only time we tend to have problems with transfer of credit are if a person starts out in a vocational program and switches to a transfer program, in general, those vocational courses do not transfer. They were designed to give you employable skills after you're done with the degree. Also, if you stay with the major but switch transfer institutions, there could be some problems. Or if you stay with the transfer institution and switch majors, there could be problems. So the safest way is to walk in knowing what you're wanting to major in and where you're wanting to transfer to, and there will be no problems.
Well, you're asking a lot of a high school student, aren't you? Actually make some real decisions about their education. We've got the kids now transferred, Jeff, and they've went from here to let's just say Illinois State, for instance. How do they fare? How do they compare with those students who started there, grade point average-wise, as to those who started here?
Well, once again, the statistics bear out what I said earlier about I think community colleges do a better job of freshman and sophomore year because that's all we do. After they transfer, the statistics we get from the four-year institutions show that they outperform students junior and senior year who started at that four-year institution.
I see. So their grade point averages are higher.
Yes.
They've accomplished some of their early educational needs at a lower cost.
Oh, yes.
So a lot of advantages. You get the lower cost tuition, you perform well, and you kind of get adjusted, I guess, then to college life for new students. And of course, then with our technical and vocational programs, we've offered a lot to adults.
Yes, and you can do it all on a vocational or career program at the community college level, right here at DACC.
So when we determine that we have an adult student, for instance, coming in here, and they come in with some idea of where they want to go, do we link then somehow with industry to show them that these are the areas that are going to be of most need? You know, I would suspect some students come here and know that they need to retrain, but they don't know exactly in which direction is going to be the most profitable for them.
Our Career Services Department does an excellent job of keeping track of local and area job markets and ballpark starting salaries, and we can provide that information to the students to help them decide what to major in.
Okay. Well, we've got just a couple minutes left, Jeff. We have 3 sessions, new student sessions in January coming up. And maybe by the time people see this, well, 1 or more of those have already passed. We've got January the 3rd, the 7th, and the 10th. Now, how do they get registered for that?
Simply call area code 217-443-8750 and let them know that you'd like to sign up for a new student session.
Now, when they come in and they take these tests, this is not to be graded on, right? This won't go on our transcript, will it?
I'm glad you asked about that. That's probably one of the things the students are most nervous about when they arrive. And we have so many math and English classes that we simply need to know which course is appropriate for the student. We do not want them to be overwhelmed. We do not want them to be bored. And the placement test will give us an accurate match. So you cannot get 100%. You cannot fail it. Right. It's simply to determine which course is appropriate for you.
Okay. Well, Jeff Smith, Director of Counseling here at DACC, thank you for sharing with us about registration. And there's still time. We can still get people registered if they want to come in for the spring semester, beginning on January the 13th, 1997. Well, I'm Mike Irvin, and I'm your host for Spotlight on DACC. Stay tuned. We have more coming up for you in just a few moments. We've been talking about registration here at Danville Area Community College with the Director of Counseling, Jeff Smith. And we'll have another program for you after a few messages talking about new ideas and new things going on here at your Danville Area Community College. Please stay tuned as we focus the spotlight closely on your Danville Area Community College.
Seems like technology has passed me by. I don't think I can ever catch up. Think again.
I'm a working parent. I don't think I have time for classes.
Think again.
On my budget, I really don't think school is an option.
Think again.
Who am I kidding? My chance to go to college has slipped away.
Think again. Think DACC.
Hi, I'm Lon Kruger, head men's basketball coach for the University of Illinois. The way our team excels on the court and the way all students can excel in school is by starting each day with a well-balanced breakfast. Whether you need the muscle power to slam dunk or the brain power to survive math, you'll get it by starting each day the only way. Our team knows it, and you should too. Excellence begins with breakfast.
And welcome back to Spotlight on DACC. I'm Mike Irvin, your host for this program. Glad that you could join us and stay with us for another interesting program about the activities that are taking place here at Danville Area Community College. I have with me for this part of the program two members of the DACC Ag Club, Mr. Clay Woodard right here, who is the president of the Ag Club, and Lucas Smith, who is the reporter for the Ag Club. Well, Ag used to be a big activity here at DACC. Is it still big, Clay?
Well, it's probably not as big as it should be, but we still have a pretty strong ag department, and we have two excellent ag teachers that really keep the program alive for us. We have Ag Club, which involves the students, pretty heavily, and we have close to about 25 students involved in it.
So you got about 25 students in Ag Club. Now, Clay, when I was a student out here and started in ag, we had two major areas. We had ag production, we had ag supply. Do you still have those type of programs, or do you not even do that anymore?
Well, we have, at the present time, we have what they call an ag transfer. That will transfer, let's say, to the University of Illinois, to Southern Illinois University, to Illinois State University, and possibly to Western Illinois University. And we have a 2-year Associate in Applied Science program, which is the agribusiness, and that sets an individual up for a workplace after 2 years when he graduates from DACC.
Oh, okay. So it's taking a little bit different twist. Now, do you still get involved in the SOE, or the Supervised Occupational Experience? So you still go out and become...
Between, I believe, April 6th and the end of school, which is towards the end of May, somewhere in there, we do still do that, and it's all the students look forward to it.
On-the-job training, so to speak. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we kind of know what the president of an ag club does. Lucas, what's the reporter for the ag club do?
I basically do take care of the advertisements for the different things that we're going to do, such as the toy show and the ag day.
Okay, so you're the marketing kind of guy, right? You're doing those kind of things. You're from Rossville, I understand, right? So you came from Rossville High School, and Clay's from Oakwood. But Lucas, tell us for just a minute, since you do report on the activities, tell us a little bit about this toy show that's coming, the farm toy show, I guess. I don't want to just limit it to just toys. We want to get it right down to what it is.
Well, it's basically model toy collectors bring their toys in and display them, and then it's just an open show for anybody to come into.
Now, where do these people come from?
All over the United States.
Oh, they do? So it's a pretty widespread representation that we have for the toy show. Is this is a big hobby, is it? Or is it a business for people? Or
for a lot of people, it's a big hobby, and for some people, it's probably more of their major income.
Is that right? So they're buying and selling farm toys, is that right? Antiques? Is that
Sometimes.
What they are?
Usually the antiques are worth the most money. But then there's present-day ones that are coming out all the time.
Tell me about farm toys, Lucas. Do they go back many, like, to the turn of the century, or I mean, how long have farm toys?
They've been out just about as long as the regular toys or the actual tractors have.
Is that right? So and they come in the same type of I guess brands as the farm implements themselves, right? So John Deere puts out John Deere products, and International puts out their products, and so on. Clay, tell us a little bit about the Farm Toy Show. When's it going to be, and where do we have it, and so on?
Well, the toy show will be held January 5th of 1997 in the Murray Miller Gymnasium, in the gym. So we really have pretty good turnout. It's a really good time for us. We have different businesses throughout Central Illinois. They donate door prizes. That may be maybe a $50 part certificate from a implement dealership for a farmer that might come in, or it might be a toy tractor for just maybe a Sunday afternoon stroller.
I see.
So it just all depends. we have businesses donate maybe baseball cards, just anything. We will have a pedal tractor pull.
A pedal tractor pull.
Yes, I believe that is for the children of ages, I believe, 6 and under. They will get on a toy tractor, and it's just like a regular tractor pull, but they use the pedal tractors. And it's pretty neat to watch.
Yeah. Now, Clay, how many people come to participate? Lucas said they come from all over the country, but about how many vendors, if you call them, or people who do this kind of thing, how many come?
You know, that's a good question, because I'm not real sure. I just know that we really pack the gym with vendors. We have in the years past, and we hope it will be as successful this year. It is for the vendors on a first-come, first-served basis this year for their tables. So we have individuals who come just to set up. They have a display. They set up their display and show their tractors for mainly a hobby, or we have the individuals that bring their tractors and sell them for maybe a little incentive to their other income.
I see. Okay. Now, Lucas, if they bring in all these tractors and some are antiques, of course, tell me, are there implements that they bring in here that they show that the regular tractors are no longer even made anymore? I mean, are they some that are just totally obsolete?
Yeah, there's quite a few just of the older tractors that they make new models of. They bring in.
An example, can you think of any?
Like an old Farmall M. They still make those for toys, but they haven't been made for quite a few years.
Is that right? Okay. And what other brands of, I keep using the name brand, I guess, but what other types of implements were real popular many years ago, but are no longer made anymore?
Well, one would be the Alice Chalmers.
The Alice Chalmers is a tractor they don't make anymore, but yet they
still make
the replicas of those. Well, we have got some pictures, I guess, of the layout of all of this on there. As you can see on the screen, the picture of all the vendors and all the farm toys that are displayed there. We've been joined during this segment here by Ron Stickler, the director and the sponsor of the Ag Club. I'm not sure exactly what your title is, but I know you've been on the faculty here for a long time. You want to talk to us a little bit, Ron, about how many vendors come? You know, we've seen that picture, and boy, it's just seems like a...
Typically, we kind of measure it in tables, number of table spaces, and anywhere from 60 to 100 tables of toys, typically. Number of vendors, since some may have multiple tables, roughly 30 to 35 different vendors.
It's almost amazing to me that they come from across the country and come and now the purpose is not only to display but also to sell. Is that right?
That's correct. In other words, they buy toys, they sell toys, and of course what makes a good show is the public coming in to buy. Okay?
Yes.
In other words, they share their collections, of course, are for sale. Everything that's on display is for sale.
Yes.
And that's how they can afford to collect toys.
Right. I'm just curious, what's the most popular farm implement? Is it just simply the tractor?
I would say the tractor, yeah, is the most popular by far.
And what would be the most unique farm implement that you would see as far as a replica at a toy show? I'm putting you on the spot big time here. I know.
Probably if you think back to when everything was cast iron or iron toys, you know, the very rugged replicas of plows that were pull-type plows rather than mounted and this type of thing, implements.
Okay. We were talking earlier before you were able to join us about the time that these toys have been on the market, and apparently ever since the original models were made, farm toys and replicas have been made right alongside them. Is that?
Yes, yes. And if not originally, then they will make replicas, you know, much later. The steel-wheeled tractors, the Farmalls, and that's another one, Luke, that they don't make anymore, is the straight Farmall International and the straight Case. Of course, those are together as Case IH now. And one other thing that they have that is big bucks, okay, would be the pedal tractors that are replicas. If you've got a good condition, let's say John Deere pedal tractor that's 10 years old, it's probably worth well over $1,000.
Really? Really? That's amazing.
Recently, we drained a body of water, and there was an old one in the bottom of the pond. It was too far gone to save, but we considered it, believe me.
I'm sure that's true. I'm sure. Well, just like all antiques, whether they be baseball cards or whether they be other wooden antiques or whatever, they have retained value and increased in value as well. It's amazing that many people are involved in farm toy collections and the buying and selling of those. Before we go on to anything else the Ag Club is doing, let's have the date again. Clay, if you could tell us about the Farm Toy Show.
It will be held January 5th of 1997 between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Okay.
In the Mary Miller Complex.
Okay, so that'll be in the gymnasium. So
Yes.
we're going to load the gym up with farm toys, and the public is invited, and we certainly invite folks to come out. Well, we've talked a little bit about one of the activities that the Ag Club is involved in. I'm sure there are many more. Lucas, tell us a little bit. What else does the Ag Club do besides sponsor the Farm Toy Show?
Well, in spring we'll have an Ag Day.
An Ag Day,
Yeah.
and we're going to talk more about that in a future program. But briefly, what do we do on Ag Day?
Clay could probably answer that question a little better.
Okay, Clay, tell us about it.
What we do on Ag Day is the day before the whole Ag Club will go to, I believe, Woodard's farm, and we will cook, just an enormous amount of meat. And the following day, which will be the Ag Day, we will prepare the meat as barbecue. We will serve baked beans in this barbecue to approximately between 1,000 and 1,200 people.
Okay.
And it is a 35-cent meal.
Okay. So it costs 35 cents to come out here, and that's represents the profit, is that right, for farmers based on the meal that you have prepared, is
Yes.
that right? Yeah. Ron, how many years have been doing Ag Day now?
I think this will be the 21st.
21st year, and it started out really as a farm city, isn't that right?
Farm City Day was our initial title. Clay was reaching for the amount of meat. We're up to 600 pounds of ham
Oh,
that
boy.
we start with now.
Right,
And,
right. And I know that a lot of elementary students come out and go through the buildings that we have here and see what we have as far as the Ag Department is concerned, and bring a lot of people in. You also told me, Clay, about being involved in a farm plot that the college has. Is that right? Yes.
We have approximately 11 acres behind the Veterans Administration Hospital, and I so-called tenant this ground. There are various seed corn companies that will donate a bag of seed, and we will plant it and kind of nurture it through the whole year, and then we take the crop off, and then we compare yields, and we will publish this. So you can see how hybrid A would stand up against hybrid B under these certain conditions.
So you get some hands-on experience while you're here, not like you all haven't had hands-on experience before. You do this every day of the week, just about.
Real quick here, that it is, really, it's good that we have this, because agriculture is just not for so-called farm kids. It is for everybody. There are professions in ag business that city folk can encounter. So
sure. Well, that's great. And without agriculture, no matter what, we're in trouble, all of us, aren't we? Well, Clay Woodard, president of the Ag Club, and Lucas Smith, the reporter for the Ag Club, and Ron Stickler, the faculty advisor. Thank you for joining us on Spotlight on DACC. Join us again as we take a closer look at Danville Area Community College.